Hello, my heartbeats, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this school year and what I'll be doing differently. We've already talked about the first week of school. Now we are somehow, it's hard to believe, in the third, and things are changing. This year is different from last year in a lot of ways, at home, at school, as far as the kids' extracurriculars, and what I am doing and what I have going on in my personal life as well. So I'll kind of just start from the top down. This is going to be a chatty video, so it may not be as eloquent as some of the other ones, but just bear with me. I'm going to try to remember what I'm talking about. And if I don't, then I have a list that I'll probably glance at every now and then. So let's start with at school. I teach fourth grade at a school in Florida. I won't get into the specifics of it, but I love my school. My kids have amazing teachers. I have wonderful administration, and I am blessed to be in a community where everybody pretty much knows everybody. There's a lot of movement in our county right now. People are coming in because it's a great place to live and learn. But for the most part, like we went to a football game last weekend on Friday, and it was all of my former students were there. Um, their siblings were on the football team, cheerleading in the band, all the things. And so we live in a fairly small area. It is getting bigger, but a fairly small area that everybody pretty much knows everybody. And if you don't know somebody, chances are you'll get to know them pretty soon. So, um, things are looking up there because this is our sixth year here in our area. We are no longer like the newest people. So it's nice to go to things in the community and not be the new face and not have to introduce yourself. Just kind of hanging out and chilling. You can trust your kids to go to the concession stand with a parent that you know, things like that. It's been nice. So at school, um, things are going well. I teach fourth grade. I am ELA and science. Just kidding. Crazy. I was ELA last year. This year I am math and science. So I was fifth grade last year. I am fourth grade this year, math and science. Um, and I have taught first grade. I've done resource for first through third. I've taught third grade. Um, I've done tutoring for fourth prior to this, and I've taught fifth grade. So essentially, first through fifth, I have experience teaching. I also have experience in pre-K and kindergarten, but that's on more of a tutoring level and a homeschooling level. I have no desire to teach kindergarten, although I love my kindergarten babies. I have no desire to teach them how to follow rules first time. Hats off to the people whose ministry that is. I see you. I love you. I thank you. That's not for me. So at school, everything for the most part, somebody came in my room today that pulled kids and pushed in last year. She came into my room and said, "Hey, your room looks just like it did in fifth grade. It's just facing a different direction this time." That is because I am pretty consistent about how I do things regardless of what subject I am teaching. So even though I was ELA last year and I'm math this year, I still run centers in a very similar fashion. I still have organizational pieces that are the exact same. I want for my kidney table to be cleared off before I leave, my date to be changed, my centers to be set up before I leave every day. Now, is that always the case? Is everything always perfect? No. But that is what I aim for, and for the most part 80% of the time that is what is done. So like as far as centers go, I'll teach for 20 to 30 minutes of a block, and then we'll have an hour of centers. It within those centers, center one might be independent practice, center two would be technology, iReady, frac, something like that. Center three would be a spiral of everything that they have learned so far that year or from a previous year, like right now, because we're in the beginning of a year. it might be a spiral from what we've done so far, but then also from third grade. And then the last center would be a hands-on center or a fluency center, depending on what we're doing and where we are. So it looks different. On Thursdays so far, I've been throwing in some science into that hands-on center as well. So it just looks different each time. Now, what is changing from most years for me is that I am adding on for independent practice. When I was in the county I was before this one, I had a different curriculum that had a math coaching piece to it. And so they would get on the computer, do their assignments, and then it had a math coach, a virtual math coach that would coach them through the problems that they missed. Well, the curriculum that we have, the first year that I was using that curriculum and also in math because I've switched from year to year, um, the online piece didn't work well and it wasn't assigning to the kids how it should have been. Now all of the kinks have been worked out. So this year I am using the online piece, and at my independent practice center, the kids are actually turning in their work to the online piece. And really what that does is it helps me and the kids because it grades it instantly. Some of them I give them partial credit for. Some of them I'll call them back up there because I can see where they went wrong. They're not all just multiple choice. There are fill in the blank problems. So it's not perfect and it's not a catch-all, but it's nice because it gives them that instant feedback and it saves us some time between me having to grade it and them actually writing out and submitting it. So I still have my spiral center where the kids do bring it up to me at the end of the center, and I will go through it with them there. But it really helps with my first independent center being online. It also helps because they're practicing doing that work on the computer, and that's how they are assessed in the state of Florida. Our fast tests are online. And so that it's just a good practice piece for them. So right now, the biggest difference in what I am doing at school is I am implementing the computer use a little bit more than I have in the past. Now, is that perfect? Will it go well? I hope it will go well. It's been working so far. They took their chapter one test today on the computer and everything went very smoothly. They've done all of their independent practice for chapter one on the computer. It was very smooth. So will that continue? I pray. That is what is changing at school for right now. Now, at home, there's a lot at home that's changing from last year. So at home, I was just trying to survive last year, I won't lie. Fifth grade is a lot. And not only just like as far as standards and making sure that the kids have everything they need. There are field trips. There's spelling bee. There's the 4-H speech contest, which used to be the Tropicana speech, science fair, all these things, planning the field trip. And then like on top of that, I was doing all the mom things. So making sure that my son was going to his kindergarten class on time and having all of his things. My daughter was in first grade. She had her first, what she felt like was her first field trip. She'd been on other field trips, but I don't know. This was like to the farm, and it was just such a big deal to her. And so I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to make it. So I don't feel like my systems were as strong as they should have been. At school, my systems were very clean. At home, not so much. This year, we have been focusing on making sure that everything is ready the night before. Lunches, clothes, um, if there's anything that's due to the teacher, homework. We don't do homework. I don't believe in homework. We school at home anyway, so we never do homework. Well, my daughter's teacher this year actually wants her to do the homework. So that's been a shift for us because we don't do that. Okay. It's really not that bad. It's not that bad at all. It's like one sheet and then a couple spelling words that she already knows how to spell. So it's not a big deal. It's just remembering to do it because we've never really done. Ooh. So that just being ready and making sure that we're following a set routine, not necessarily completely on a perfect schedule, but our routine and our systems are in place, that is helping a lot. Last year, the kids would get up, they would eat breakfast, they would do their school, and then they would get ready. Well, the problem with that is if they take too long on their school, then they have to still get ready. We're then late to school. So something that sounds so simple, this year we're flipping it. They'll eat breakfast, they get ready, and then they do their work. Now, if they don't finish their work, it's not the end of the world. It does not bother me. They just finish whatever they were working on in the evening. Because again, we're not a homework family, and that homework that my daughter's second grade teacher is giving her really isn't much at all. So she'll do that like one day out of the week, be done for the whole week, and then that's it. So that's what we're changing. More than anything, the night before matters so much. Having our clothes laid out, having the backpacks out, dance clothes. Oh, my kids, my daughter is in dance and cheer right now. My son is in flag football and hip hop for this season in this moment, but he also does soccer and basketball. And so we are going 5 days a week during the week, which means if I am having to wake up and try to get all these different clothes set for after school, it's just too much. So making sure that the backpacks are packed, the clothes are laid out for the next day. They have all their things for extracurricular activities the night before, as well as their lunches, and if they have anything they need from me for their class. All of that stuff the night before. It makes my life so much easier. So that's what's changing at home. Just being more prepared. Last year, I feel like I was just getting in the habit of having both kids at the school with me, because prior to this, my son had to ride a bus to pre-K, and it was just me and my daughter. The year before that, it was both kids going to pre-K. So last year was the first year I had both kids there, and I was just trying to survive. This year, we found a better rhythm. We're figuring out what works well for us, and just preparedness, being prepared. All right. Um, Now, as far as real life and scheduling, my schedule is so disrespectful. If you ever see my calendar, it's a mess. It's a mess. So on my calendar, you will see my stuff, my husband's stuff, the kids' stuff, the school stuff, the meetings, the team meetings, the learning leader meetings, the meetings for me and my family, because we also have a savings club that we do as a family, that we invest and do things as a family. But then on top of that, now I've got my YouTube video scheduling and my TPT products when I'm going to be writing and doing those. So it's just a whole hot mess. And the best way that I can say it is that my schedule is disrespectful, and that no one piece of my schedule considers the other. And what that means is whatever I am doing, I just have to be present with in that moment with whatever I'm doing, and everything else just has to wait until I'm done. So right now I'm filming a video, and the world will not end. The sky will not fall. Whatever, whoever needs me in this moment can wait, and that's okay. Um, so if you ever text me and I take forever to get back, it's not that I don't love you. My schedule is just disrespectful. Um, I'm giving myself permission to do less. So last year, I felt really bad and really guilty if I didn't get to something, or if I didn't respond to someone straight away. I'm giving myself permission to do less. I have removed my school email from coming directly to my phone. I check my email when I'm at school. Sometimes I check my email from the browser on my phone. But I find that I get really anxious if there is something that I feel like is an immediate need where maybe a parent just didn't want to forget or someone at school just didn't want to forget and they send me a message. I can get back to that the next day. I try to always respond within 24 hours in every area. So that goes to my family, that goes to my friends, that goes to school, goes to parents, whoever, whatever. I'm trying to respond within 24 hours. I think that prior to this, I just felt so guilty if I didn't get back to someone when I saw something. But the reality is, phones make us accessible, but it doesn't make everything an emergency. So I am allowing myself to have more time and more grace to just sit and be present with the people and the things that I am with in that moment. Okay, so all in all, I'm still figuring it out. I am no YouTube professional. I am still figuring out TPT. Even being more than a decade into teaching, I am still learning and growing with teaching and tutoring and mentoring. Um, ooh, I have an intern this year as of today. Super exciting. Love her to death. I already know her, so that's cool. Um, but all of these things, none of the things that I'm doing, none of the areas that I am operating in, am I a perfect person, a perfect wife, a perfect mother, a perfect teacher? And so as this year changes and as I'm doing things different, I'm going to give myself a lot of grace and wiggle room and know that everything is going to be okay. Because at the end of the day, if I'm still breathing, there's still time to improve and everything's going to be fine. So I say all that to say that some things are going to be different this year, and I can't wait to see how I learn and grow. Is there anything that you are going to be changing this year? If so, let me know in the comments. What is your one or your several things that need to change this year for you to be successful? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe so I know to make more content like this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.